certain things that people need.
Don't tell me there isn't opportunity. There is opportunity in this room. It's up to you to see how hard you work at going after it.
For those who want to learn how to make more money, clap. All right. You've all been to a store where somebody comes up to you and says, hey, can I help you find something? Yes, just nod your head. Believe it or not, just by doing that, studies have shown that sales go up 30%. That's why they do it. Consumers begin to notice a 5% difference in pricing. This is called a just noticeable difference. I want you to mentally register that. 5% difference is when people start noticing a difference in price. Within 1 week, consumers forget 95% of what you said. Listen carefully to what I just told you. They forget 95% of what you told them. You're a champ. Special and unexpected. When something is special and it's unexpected, people react what? To that. It's called the law of reciprocation, right? You feel like giving what? Something back. Who's here? Salespeople, raise your hand. Wonderful. Studies have shown that if you hand a heavier clipboard to somebody with your resume, it actually carries more weight. Literally. Isn't that interesting? So weight does matter. So what is all this I'm telling you? How you present. Look at this one. Did you know that if you're presenting to somebody and you're sitting down, you'll typically close about 58% of the time. But by simply standing up, your sales go up to 79%. I'm not making this up, folks. You just don't know that every moment that you're in the process of selling, something is happening in the psychology of the mind of the buyer, and you have to understand this. Very subtle things to move them along. You don't have to be slick Willie to sell these days. People don't want that. The most subtle are the best because most people don't expect them to what? Sell them. So in other words, if we can't explain how we sold something and transfer that knowledge, would you agree it is worthless because it stays right there? The best managers, the best sales manager, know how to transfer that information. What is sales influence? So guess what? 98% of all the books you'll read will teach you how to sell. So you read that, you're like, wow, I've mastered the art of selling. You feel all good about yourself. Then you read the next book, Spin Selling. Got to know how to ask the right questions. Investigative process. Dig for pain, dig for pain, dig for pain, dig for pain. Yeah, I think I got it. Then you say, that ain't good enough. Your sales ain't rising. Then there's solution selling. We don't want to sell something. We want to sell a what? Solution. Wonderful. You read that book and you're feeling pretty good about yourself. Next you read what? The Psychology of Selling or the Sales Bible, Jeffrey Gitomer. Man, he made a Bible. Next, there's strategic selling from Miller Hammond. You read strategic selling? I now know how to do strategic selling. Then they say, well, it ain't about strategic. It's all about being conceptual. Okay, so you just got to understand the concept of selling. But that ain't good enough. You got to go to what? The new conceptual selling. You're like, okay, I think I'm getting all this. I want to sell where? To the top. Because I want to sell to that guy named Vito. Very important top officers. Yes, oh man, I got it. The answer is not always about how to sell. There's something else going on. Most of the stuff you've been learning is so outdated it isn't even funny. Many of the sales strategies you still use today were written back in 1949. In fact, some date to early 1940, and you're still using them. Have things changed since the 1940s? Then why is it that we continue to use the same sales techniques? I don't want to look at how to sell because the consumers change. The consumer's smart is much different. Back then, 1940s, there was no email. There was no voicemail. There wasn't a lot of things that you see today. And today, it's not about pressure selling. Would you agree with that? People don't want to be pressured into buying. And if you do that, there's something called the sales reactance theory, which means what? They'll what? Withdraw. And they always do that. I don't teach you how to sell. I teach you how people what? Buy. If we know how people make a buying decision, can we sell more effectively? Yes or no?